blues and the blues. Oops.
More than half my wardrobe. But
I know, it's blue, black, or brown, and not much brown.
Judge, we're all here. The doctors?
my wife complains, but I mean, the first team that I ever played
She's
for
here.
was actually the Blue
Is she
Devils.
here?
Yeah, she's.
One of the dads, he went to Duke. So, little soccer team. My mom reminded me of that. She's like, you know, the first team is probably the last team you're going to play for.
Yeah.
Will be the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils.
So,
Oh, that's cool.
and all the teams in between were always blue as well. So I'm just, it was just,
Yeah,
it's guaranteed that everything's going to be blue.
oh, good.
Until I had a little girl, then half the house is pink.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, her room's pink, and there's just, you know, there's pink pouring out of.
Because I have a boy and a girl, but my girl liked rainbows.
Okay.
So we had rainbows everywhere, and it was kind of before, because she's 39. So it's kind of before all the unicorn stuff.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I'm
Nice
fortunate
to
enough
say
that she's gotten to a point where she has a little bit of a darker sense of humor, so I'll make jokes about unicorn hamburgers and mermaid sushi.
Oh, gosh.
And she'll actually think that's funny. So
Oh,
for a while
gosh.
there, there's a look of horror at first, and
Oh, gosh.
then she realized, Dad's just kidding. We're not taking out unicorns for hamburgers.
You may have to use
6.
the
She'll be
computer.
7 here in October.
How old's your boy?
8. And he'll be 9 in
But I told you, Mr. I had a heck of a time.
Tiny people, sometimes with big problems.
It's in the,
My grandsons
It's in the
are 6, 9, and 11.
Okay.
So
They're all
it still
into-
works properly, just
They're all into
Yeah.
baseball and football.
and I don't know what it is, Mr. Cook, but I mean, like I said, it took 2 days
He's
to
so
open
smart.
5 items. Well, I
When they
opened
can
this
read.
with pretty
Yeah.
much just no
Yeah.
problems.
And they
I
Okay,
need
Judge,
the,
we're all here.
I need the resolution, I
Yep.
don't know what I
hitting the
do.
baseball or
This is everything that
Okay.
gave you.
There it is.
Yeah, keeping them corral is tough.
causing havoc.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm sure there's been a
And
couple
I have
of
everything over
windows
here.
that you
Fortunately, they live on 2.5 acres.
got. Okay,
So the good news is that
Thank you so much.
yeah,
they can
if
run.
they
a
did it,
little
it was on
bit.
purpose.
They can run a little bit. Yeah. But they have been a lot, you get used to it. Well, if it
Daryl, can you hear me?
was not made to be broken.
Hear you fine, Judge.
Super. Y'all ready to get started?
Yes, sir. All the
All
commissioners are
right.
here.
Court will please come to order. The quorum present. All of our members are present. All legal notices have been posted and the court is duly called. Is there a motion to open court?
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
And the bailiff, please open court.
Bailiff Anthony Williams, the Dallas County Commissioners Court is now in session for the August 2020 term. The Honorable Clayton Jenkins presiding. Now the invocation.
All right, and our invocation today will be given by a guest of Commissioner Daniel.
Well, good morning to everybody. I would like to welcome Reverend Aaron Wyma, who is the Associate Pastor of the Cathedral of Hope United Church of Christ. And good morning to you, ma'am. Reverend Wyma is a Southern California native. She worked as a public school teacher in the Garvey Elementary School District in Rosemead, California, and has worked extensively in the nonprofit sector. She was ordained into full-time ministry with the United Church of Christ in 2011 in her first called pastoral position at Manhattan Beach Community Church, UCC, after finishing her Master's of Divinity degree with Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. She has been a guest podcaster on Homebrewed Christianity, spoken at events and camps for young adults and youth throughout the Southern California, Nevada Conference of the UCC, and been a keynote speaker for the South Bay Interfaith Thanksgiving service. In 2006, she was hired as an associate minister of Cathedral of Hope United Church of Christ in Dallas, Texas. She's worked alongside a number of organizations to bring healing, hope, and justice. She supports the efforts of Faith Forward Dallas. She has most recently been a speaker at the Let's Talk Dallas Women's Empowerment Conference. She also received the Sis Ally of the Year Award from the Transgender Pride of Dallas. And on this recognition of the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote, I would like to welcome the good Reverend Erin Wyman.
Thank you so much. Being an extrovert, this technology is wonderful and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And so in whatever way you honor the holy within you and the holy in the universe, please pray with me. O divine creator, you are just, loving, and good. We call upon your grace as we begin this work this day. We ask for your help that we may also be just, loving, and good. With whatever power or influence we wield, may it be so we love others as we love ourselves. In tangible and practical and life-giving ways. O divine power, remind us that we are more alike than we are different, and that we are all connected and made of the same stuff. May we see the spark of life and light in all of those we encounter this day. Help us to remember that the resources around us are plentiful and bountiful, and help us to be generous and good stewards of all we possess and all we oversee. And so, divine source of love, may we see challenges today as opportunities for growth and new life. May we build more tables of grace than walls of fear. May we care for those who cannot care for themselves. May we choose acts of sacred beauty and holy care. May we believe and work towards the restoration of all things. May we listen before we speak, for wisdom comes from understanding. May we make space for the ideas of others. May we show up today with all of ourselves, living into hope for a better tomorrow. Divine source of all wonder and awe, meet us in this meeting and show us what love looks like in public, and help us all get into some good trouble if needed. Give us the strength to do the world-healing work you have called us to do this day and every day. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. What an honor. Thanks for all the work you do. Blessings.
Thank you.
Our first resolution today is from Commissioner Daniel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
As already has been referenced, we are in the most unusual times with our methods of communication being altered so much, and where we are having to figure out alternative ways of having people get together, having ideas moved forward. On this 100th anniversary of the a recognition of the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote, for the last at least 2 years, the number of plans that have been made by so many people to add to this recognition just to be dashed by the position that we're in right now. As just an introduction to what we're going to be saying in this resolution, that does not deter the commitment of so many people to take very seriously the women's right to vote, men's right to vote, everybody's right to vote, as an expression of their voice, their thoughts, and their commitment to the United States and to Texas and to Dallas County. That being said, I am committed, and I am confident that this body here will be looking at what can we do to keep the spirit alive that the right to vote, that our vote is so important to the very soul of who we are as a people. Whereas August 26th marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which prohibited denying any citizen the right to vote based on gender, a step that forever transformed our nation. And whereas between 1878, when the amendment was first introduced in Congress, and 1920, when it was ratified, champions of voting rights for women work tirelessly. For 70 years, women of diverse and varied backgrounds, such as Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Ida B. Wells, fought long and hard to ensure women would no longer be denied the right to vote and that their voices would be heard. And whereas during the 1918 Texas gubernatorial campaign, members of the Dallas Equal Suffrage Association procured signatures of over 10,000 Dallas County women on a petition backing a primary suffrage bill. The bill passed, enabling Texas women to vote in primary elections. Dallas County suffragists registered over 16,000 women to vote in the July 1918 primary election. And whereas on June 28, 1919, Texas became the 9th state in the Union and the first Southern state to ratify the 19th Amendment. The state's support of women's enfranchisement set the stage for other Southern states to ratify the 19th Amendment. And whereas the suffrage and women's rights movements are the roots of women in politics and women's rise in national leadership, women have taken leadership roles at all levels of government, city, county, state, and national, paving the way and creating opportunities for all those who will follow. And whereas today in the Dallas County, in the city of Dallas, women continue to participate and contribute to important decisions in government planning. In Dallas County, 2 women, the good Dr. Garcia and myself, currently serve as county commissioners, 40% of the 5 members. 4 women serve on the Dallas City Council, 27% of the 15 council members. And whereas the observance of Women's Equality Day not only commemorates the passage of the 19th Amendment, but also calls attention to women's continuing efforts towards full equality. Today, the wage gap between men and women still impacts women's economic power, and gender-based discrimination still plagues workplaces and business transactions. We must bear in mind that while women have achieved a great deal in the face of significant obstacles, there is still much to accomplish in our work to achieve total equality. Side note, it has not been easy. There have been fights among women along the way. There have been fights ensuring that all women would be included, regardless of their race, their ethnicity, and as I want to say, we are not done yet. Now therefore be it resolved, the Dallas County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim August 26, 2020 as Women's Equality Day in Dallas County. Dallas County joins the nation in celebrating and uplifting women everywhere, and I so move.
And I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Commissioner Daniels, for bringing this resolution. Again, I mean, it's a special, it's going to be a special recognition this year as we celebrate the 100 years of the women's right to, the women's right to vote. And we have prepared so many different activities and festivities that got pretty much stopped when this pandemic hit. But I think that, well, you know, here we are, and we are going to celebrate anyway. And I think one of the biggest celebrations that I had yesterday was to see, you know, the Democratic Party having the first women as a VP, women of color, as a VP in the ticket, you know, for the Democratic Party. So, I mean, as we continue to move and seeing that, you know, our main speaker last night during the convention was Michelle Obama, which delivered a fabulous, in my opinion, speech. We have everything, you know, during these times that are hard times for everyone, something to, you know, celebrate, something to be proud about, women accomplishments. And as the resolution says, we still have significant obstacles, and there's still a lot to accomplish. I think that women are going to continue to rise, not only in politics, but at every single level. As we look into the small business assistance program, women are, the ones that open the most small businesses and the ones that apply for our program in highest numbers. And the list go on and on. So we continue to, fight, but at the same time, we have to recognize that we have come a long way, and hey, that's something to celebrate. So
We're
I
not
want to
done yet.
thank you, and we're going to send a message later on to all our, friends and, constituents about the importance of this
I
resolution.
look forward to that. Also would like to note, we would not have room here to talk about all of the elected women in Dallas County. Garland has their, Deborah Morris sitting on their council. And we know of all of the variety of people, of women involved in school districts. In all of the different, Ms. Flores has been there for many years, representing and helping with the Dallas County.
And a lot of the young women that are coming too. I think that is
So many.
important to note. Tonight, I believe in the convention, Victoria Niave, a young Latina, is going to be part of the speakers that are going to speak. Well, she's not a freshman anymore, but again, the young generation is coming, and they're coming with a lot of energy, new ideas, and way of doing things. So it's exciting.
And thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we couldn't do it without some of the support of the gentlemen that,
It's
are
teamwork.
here as well.
It's teamwork.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Garcia has our next resolution.
And yes, thank you, Judge, colleagues, and members of the audience. I mean, the next resolution is for Lupe Hernandez Perez, 100-year birthday anniversary. And Ms. Perez has been a long time member